For sure. And then looking at the Democrat side, Nancy Pelosi obviously made history as the first and only female Speaker of the House. She announced she's not seeking re-election, and she's seen as the old guard of the Democratic Party. She's leaving. I mean, what do you think that this does to the future of the party? What do you think her leaving means?
Well, I mean, I think a quick word on her, which is like her or hate her, and I feel like everyone has an opinion about Nancy Pelosi. She's a remarkably successful politician. I think she will go down as one of the most effective speakers of the House in history, Republican or Democrat. Obviously, she's already in the history books, first female Speaker of the House ever. What does it mean? You know, she had stepped down from leadership a few years ago. And so they do have a group of younger leaders in place led by Hakeem Jeffries. None of those leaders have come close to the sort of level that Nancy Pelosi has. Now, obviously, she was in Congress for a long time. Most of them have not been in Congress all that long. But it is a little bit of a vacuum there. The most high-profile, powerful House member other than Nancy Pelosi is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez right now in terms of like ability to raise money, ability to draw crowds. You know, and I don't know if she stays in the House, right? I mean, she's 36 years old. She could run for the Senate in 2028. Chuck Schumer is up for another term. She could primary him. If he retires, she could run for that seat. Or she could run for president. So I don't – look – there's a reason there's one Nancy Pelosi. It's the same thing with Mitch McConnell. Like him or hate him, there's one Mitch McConnell. They're both leaving in 2026. It's the end of an era. They are absolute political and legislative titans in Congress, and I don't think they're easily replaceable.
And then when you're looking at 2028 perhaps, and 2026, obviously we can't forget about the midterms. What specifically are you looking out for next? Obviously we have this albatross of a government shutdown, but people have short memories when it comes to shutdowns. Once that shutdown's over, it's like it almost never happened. I mean, what specifically are you looking out for next?
I mean, you're right. Like we count the days, and if you live in the DC, Maryland, or Virginia area like I do, it's a big deal. You know people, you see people every single day are impacted by it, right? If you live in the rest of the country, I think largely you don't pay attention to it until SNAP benefits, until 10% cut in the number of flights leaving. Then it starts to spider out and impact you more. That's why I think we're probably near the end of the shutdown at this point, because you're starting to see impacts that impact a lot broader swath of the public. Is there a lingering political consequence to it? If past is prologue, not really. You know, I mean, maybe to some extent, since Republicans are in charge of everything, there may be a little bit of broad backlash of like, why can't they get the government to work? But I'm skeptical that in a year from now, people have the shutdown on their mind.
And I'm sure you've had the same experience, but I have heard, listened, dissected, read so many different takes about what happened on Tuesday and the election results from then to now. Is there anything that you think is missing from the conversation, or any take that you don't think is right, is perhaps premature? What does that look like?
I think it's important to remember that this is, while I love every election and I'm an election campaign junkie, this was not a national election, right? The midterms are a national election. There are votes in every single state. This was not that. There were votes in 31 states on Tuesday. 20,000 offices were up. It's not nothing, but it is not a national election. In the same way that the midterms do not necessarily predict 2028 because the electorate's much smaller, I think we just have to be careful. Look, if I'm a Democrat today, I'm way happier than if I'm a Republican today after Tuesday. At the same time, I think it has to be a measured optimism. Nothing is guaranteed in politics. It's one of the most fascinating things about it. It's why I love covering it. You know, predicting what will happen a year from now, much less 3 years from now, fool's errand. So I would just say, let's wait and see about what next year holds politically and from a policy perspective, how the public response, how the economy looks in September 2026. That's probably going to tell us more about what's coming next fall than what happened on Tuesday.